right, so has anyone noticed that during this year's cold season, cold virus season, that everything pretty much stopped building-wise, right? Buildings just quit building because we had to save lives. But there was also something else I noticed, is that the buildings that are being built or had stopped building and that are going to be finished this year, most of them are federal buildings. I don't know if you've noticed that, especially in Kennewick. There's a lot of schools that have had upgrades during this particular cold season, cold virus season. And I noticed that a lot of these are giant, brand new federal buildings that are going in. Federally funded buildings, including medical centers. And but yet I don't see new businesses going in, really. I don't see, well, of course, there's housing still going on in the outskirts, but it's amazing how the prime property real estate is being overtaken by federal government money. And if you look at this one particular building, it's a medical building, and I was curious about it, and so I did some research, and it turns out to be a government building. It's actually a medical facility for people who aren't legal, people who are, basically don't have any support, so they can get Medicare or Medicaid or any kind of medical treatment they need at this facility. And I look at this facility, and I just can't help but think that it looks like two things that aren't normal for the Tri-City area, at least, traditionally. It looks like part of it came from South America, and the other part came from China. And if you look at it, you can see the rising sun and the red banners going down the side of the building. It really is shocking. It really does look like it's a communist building, and it's being built right in the middle of Kennewick, right near where the Vista Field airport used to be. And it's DSHS supported stuff, and all these buildings and all these schools have huge upgrades. And one of the things I noticed about these construction sites is that the government doesn't seem to care if they don't cover their mounds of dirt. Now, I remember back in the day, if you were a contractor and you were building a home, you would get fined if you allowed your mounds of dirt to blow dust into the neighborhood. But now it seems like because it's federal government property, they don't have to abide by those rules. It's okay if their dust blows into your face and into your house and all over stuff, because they're the government. Yeah, and where did all this money come from? I know the DSHS used to be located in the old Skate King in Kennewick. It's a big building. In fact, it's bigger than the buildings they have now that they just finished. And why are they moving out of that building and moving into this brand new spanking building? I mean, we are like so many $1 trillion in debt. How is it our government is able to build these brand new buildings and put them in the best parts of town, and then, well, I'll tell you how they do it. They just make it. Okay? Why not? When they made all that fake money for everybody and sedated everyone so everyone could feel good that, we don't have to actually pay and, earn the things that we are doing with people's liberties, that they probably went ahead and wrote themselves out checks and knew that this whole thing was going to go down, and they had already, put all this money into action just before everything, got shut down. It's like, these buildings went up really fast. I mean, even with the shutdown, they still went up super fast, because guess what? A lot of contractors were out of work, right? And these contractors were desperate, and they would do work for a lot less because they didn't have anything they could do. So what does the government do? Yeah, during the perfect cold season, right? The perfect cold virus season, they go ahead and they have all these projects all lined up, ready to go, and then boom. So anyway, it's pretty pathetic, this country we live in. Yeah, and in closing, it's pretty funny if you look at this picture. This picture, you're back during the times of the myth and the legend of the cold virus that was going on. You would think that this was a restaurant, right? I mean, you got the blower right there. You've got all the plastic up around, so it looks like a giant outdoor tent facility where people could actually go in there and eat, right? Because you couldn't have it in a finished building, right? It had to be in a tent. So I mean, this is actually back in the time when they were still in the process of building this building, and it's now pretty much completed. But I just thought it was funny when I saw it back in the day that I thought maybe that was a new restaurant they were building. It was designed for people who who were scared, and that they could actually eat food in this building instead of in an actual restaurant.